Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Bergeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to. He look crazy, Bill.
Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, built by RMB Builders. Remember our friends over at RMB at rmb-builders.com, and of course on Instagram on RMB Builders. Check them out over there to keep up with all of what's going on tonight. LSU is going to take on Nichols. That'll be over at the box. It's a 6:30 start. It'll be on the SEC Network Plus for you. We're going to talk to Billy Embody. We got a call into Embody to come up here and talk about some recruiting. Is obviously recruiting in full swing right now. Transfer portal, a lot of stuff going on inside of recruiting. So we'll talk to Billy Embody, hopefully, before the 8 o'clock hour. Carpool Queen Katie will be here at 8 o'clock, and we will have some draft discussion as the NFL draft this week. LSU's got a couple of players that should come off the board before the weekend, and we'll talk about that coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share button, comment button as we are here with you live on this Tuesday. Lloyd is here, and we got Stewie here live on this Tuesday as well. How are we feeling this morning, boys?
Good. Exonerated. All charges.
Oh, nice.
All charges
Beat the case. No big deal.
Nice.
If you're ever in the position to fight the charges, go to the courtroom.
Would you go no contest? Or did you
No, I went and proved that I paid my debt to society. I got my
So
registration.
what was the story? What happened here?
So, okay, it was a couple of charges.
Take us back to
Even
that.
the ADA, like the assistant district attorney who has to like read off your litany of charges in my case, she was like, "Oh, this is long," and I was like, "Oh, that's not a good start." Yeah,
That's mine?
Yeah, juror number 4. So I didn't have my car wasn't registered. I thought it was. I thought we got lost in the shuffle of buying it in Texas and needed, it coming over here, transfer of title and all of such. Inspection stickers you still need to buy. I thought Louisiana had gotten rid of those.
Right.
Not the case. Right. And then 33 to 25 was the real ringer that folded my house of cards of not paying for anything. And so those are my litany of charges.
33 and a 25.
In an unregistered vehicle.
And with no inspection sticker.
Wow. So
They thought
Yeah.
you were,
Oh, he was. I was like,
that
I could.
was stacked against you.
Oh, he wouldn't let. He thought I stole the car.
yeah, you were a little.
He 100% was like, "You're not going anywhere." And I was like, "Listen, man."
You stay right there.
And then I told him. We had a back and forth as I'm one to do. I was just wondering.
Yeah, it was testing.
Yes, let's test the waters. Let's see what I can get away with and what I can't.
Right.
And he was not with the shit. He was Mr. Hey buddy, and I was like, oh, hands up. I was
Son.
like, he put the hands inside the bulletproof vest
Ooh.
when he was talking to me, and I was like, head down, just stare at the steering wheel.
Was he
Yes,
there
sir.
yesterday?
Nope. So this is another little trick that I learned.
Right.
Go there. file for an extension. He was there the first day. We walked in together. Like, I followed him into the courthouse, and I was like, oh, the one person I was hoping not to see today. And he's like, what? And I was like, you don't remember? Like, this is why we're both here. You're here because
No, I
of
do
me.
this every day to people.
And then, so I filed for the
33 and a 25.
so I filed for the extension.
What a life, bro.
And he was there that day, and I didn't tell him that I left because I don't have to. And then I think that made him upset, and he did not show up the second day. So she read off the charges. I showed her that I'd registered my vehicle, took a picture of my inspection sticker, and then she was like 33 to 25, and she was like, "You're good." Case dropped, and I was like, "Let's go." I had to speak into the microphone. I had to go up there and state my name, date of birth.
You have to, like, get up there and, like...
The first guy goes up there high as a kite, like, no doubt, like no sweat to me, but he was like dread swinging. Walked up there and the microphone fell off. He like went to grab it and the little microphone fell off, and I was like, "Oh man!" But he got off too.
You're good.
Yeah,
You're
just
good.
this man struggling.
Yeah, right. Forget about it. Forget about it.
He
Forget
forgot about
it.
it anyway. Get
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
he don't know.
done.
He actually asked you, "So am I good?"
I'm good.
I don't believe it.
I can't believe it. But hey, if you ever gonna take it, go fight the charges. Maybe you won't show up.
Nice, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Feels good to be a contributing member of society again.
Nice. Lloyd beat the law yesterday.
And I filed my extension for taxes. So, dude, just extend everything. Kick the can down the road. Me and Mickey Loomis.
Right. We'll get to this at one point.
Eventually, Taysom Hill's contract will come up at some point.
NFL draft coming up this weekend. We will see what the Saints do as they have a late first-round selection that they will be going after. Of course, that courtesy of the Denver Broncos, as the Broncos, of course, with Sean Payton in his first season. LSU will obviously have a couple of players. Doubt any first-rounders. If there's any of them, it'll probably be B.J. Ojulari. We'll see if B.J. can possibly move himself up to a mid to late first-round pick on some draft boards. But a lot of people kind of really have him sitting in that front part of the second round. Some big news here in college football, and I don't know if you're paying attention to this, but it's really kind of starting to take over the news wire and really start to dominate some of the news. Is what's happening up at Colorado. And in a transfer portal age, in a day and age when the student athlete has much more power than she or he has ever had, Colorado is really testing that power from a player standpoint since Saturday's spring game, which was an absolute showcase for the Colorado football program. They had 45,000 people there, in which they were charging admission to. Last year, they opened the gates for free, and they didn't have 1,000 people at the game last year. It's on ESPN Live on Saturday. I mean, it's a 2-hour billboard, a marketing brochure for Colorado, the university, the football program, the entire state. And not 48 hours after that game has gone final, the 18th player has alerted the university that they are putting their name into the transfer portal. These are some players, including star wide receiver Montana Lamonius Craig, who had a 90-yard touchdown on Saturday in the spring game. Fellow wide receiver Jordan Tyson announced that he's leaving yesterday afternoon. Deion Smith, who's last season's top running back, also entered the portal on Monday. A ton of production is hopping into the portal. And one might say, like, what's going on? Like, how is this happening? And from what I understand and from what I am being told is that it's NIL based. It's a structure to the NIL setup at Colorado where the players were either being told something that they're not receiving or they're playing in a system that does not allow them to collect as much as they thought. And that is what is being really talked about within college football circles. But this is an issue for Deion Sanders. And I know that Deion is out on social media and really playing this thing up and supporting the players and, really supportive of Lamonius Craig saying that wherever he goes, school's going to get a really good player. He's a great kid, and he's got to do that from a recruiting standpoint. But his program, from just the perception right now, looks as if it's taken on water, right? I mean, like, of 68 scholarship players last year that they had on the roster, there's now only 20 remaining. And we just saw it locally affect a Louisiana kid as well as Juwan Johnson, a 4-star cornerback at a Lafayette Christian. He decommitted from Colorado on Monday, and it seems as if LSU is trending to land the in-state product. But Billy Embody, who is going to be here at some point, hopefully before we get out of here at 9 a.m., we'll ask him about some of the effects of how what's happening in Boulder, Colorado affect what's happening in college football. But what is going on at the University of Colorado? Why is this happening all of a sudden to where at one point Deion and Colorado looked like the hottest program in the country, and now it seems as if everybody's trying to flee? I don't know necessarily if it's calls for, panic or, over concern, but this has got to be a little alarming to Colorado officials that, just 2 days after the program is on Front Street, showing off in front of the college football world, that they can't keep a player on the roster, it seems.
And you don't think that this is a case of, it could be, well, what do you say whenever he got the job and addressed the team? Like, I'm bringing Louis with me. Like, I don't know if this is too late, the transfer portal era or time where he's got people in the coffer that he's going to be able to bring in. That made sense in the early transfer portal window where you could go get anybody and you had time. But for this to happen after the spring game, it was either a question of they don't feel like they're going to get playing time and they heard that people are coming in, or the NIL deal that we were promised, and somebody said in the chat, like, you couldn't even pay the coach. What makes you think you're going to be able to put an NIL deal together for the players?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, the athletic director openly admitted they couldn't afford Deion's $30 million, contract. But they were confident that they were going to be able to sell seats and sell luxury boxes and sell sponsorships to raise that money to get him paid. But, yeah, a school that's trying to keep up and get a coach paid is definitely going to be behind the 8 ball when the players and NIL structure is looking for some financial support as well.
Because
right?
Before this drop, they were the number 1 team in the transfer portal rankings. LSU was 2, Colorado was 1. And so I'd imagine that's probably flipped, or they've fallen farther down the list, assuming that I'd imagine they're bringing somebody. And if they're losing this many players, Deion has been, up to this point, you have to give him credit. He's been very calculated in what he's done and how he's managed his career and how he's managed the programs. So I would imagine he's got a plan, but from, if you're going to do instant reaction and hot take of just looking at what's in front of you, it doesn't look great, but I'd imagine that there's something going on where he's bringing in some top tier talent from other places, because are they in the Pac-12?
Yeah.
So he can bring in SEC talent and they don't have to worry about transferring in.
No doubt.
But the real concern is that you have people decommitting from your program after it's almost like a first date type deal. Whenever they were the hottest, the new girl comes into school and you're like, oh God, what's she about? Yeah, everybody wants to get a taste. And then whenever you get to know her, like, oh God, it's too much. Yeah. Where's Dad?
Yeah.
So there was the flavor of the month, and now that it feels like that's what Juwan Johnson pretty much said in his statement. He was like, look, I got caught up. Deion, the whole thing, I didn't really think about it. I just committed. But when you think about somebody from Louisiana and their family having to go to Colorado games, how do you do that travel? It's easier to stay at home at some points.
No, I agree. I think that Deion was selling a certain brand. He was selling a certain style. And, look, I think that's attractive to a lot of people, man. And the one thing that I believe could get in the way of what Deion is trying to accomplish is that the majority of these kids, today, they want to be the star. They want to be the center of attention. They want to be the ones that is getting all the notoriety on social media. And when you go play for Deion, you have to sacrifice a lot of that because he's the spotlight. He's the center of attention, right? And some people really embrace that because of what it brings along with you. And I think that really works at a school, and no disrespect, but like Jackson State, right? That needs that push, that needs that over-the-top support of, bringing the notoriety and attention to the program that it's rarely had. And even though Colorado has been dormant for decades, I mean, really not relevant since the early 90s, they have experienced a bit of success. Now, probably nobody on that campus was a part of that success when it was happening, over 30 years ago, but for sure, there is a sense and a feel of they know what good football and what the spotlight and what all of that brings to a university. And for Deion, I wonder how much sometimes his players may be turned off by him a bit, or the sense of how much is enough, right? I mean, look, his message when he got the job of walking in there and saying, I'm bringing my own luggage and it's Louis and you can pack your stuff right now and get into the transfer portal. A lot of you are going to have to do that. That conversation is happening on every single college campus. Nobody really has the balls to bring that to the public. He does. Who knows how those guys feel about that in-house, right? And that's just an example. I mean, that's just one. But I think that there is a little bit of a Deion hangover even inside of his own locker room. And I think that there were some things that were promised and said and pushed that may not be exactly how it's going to play out. So we'll see. I think Jawan Johnson's sitting in a good spot for LSU. Hopefully, if we can get Embody before he gets out of here, before we get out of here, we will be able to kind of break some of that down.
His Lightning are down 3-1 in the NHL playoffs, so he could be mourning.
Might not be sleeping.
They lost 5-4 yesterday in overtime.
No, I'm talking about Billy.
Billy Embody's a huge Tampa Bay Lightning guy. Just based off the merch he wears, so I didn't know he's a hockey fan. But I checked up, make sure they're down 3-1, so he's probably not in the best of spirits.
Is it the Stanley Cup Finals right now?
No, this is just like this is the round one.
Okay.
We're just getting started, baby.
Okay. Speaking of recruiting, LSU is set to possibly pick up another in-state commit as one of the top players in this recruiting cycle is set to make his announcement tomorrow, and that is East Feliciana's Trey'Dez Green. If you have not seen Green, he is a specimen. I mean, this cat looks SEC ready yesterday. He is going and looking to play basketball and football at whatever school he signs at. Up until last season, he was one of the top basketball players in the state, if not the top player in the state. East Feliciana coaches and people down in Clinton really were on him about trying to play football. He throws on the pads. He becomes the number one player in the state of Louisiana. He becomes one of the best tight ends in the country. He is a 6'7" athletic freak, 225 pounds. He's a multi-sport athlete. He can jump over you. He can run past you. He can catch everything. He's got soft hands. He's really good around the rim. He's really good in the red zone. He is one of these guys that I believe is going to be able to handle the load of two sports in college. He's choosing between 5 schools. He's got Miami, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Alabama, and LSU on the table LSU believes that they are sitting in a fantastic spot. We'll wait and see what happens. But I would believe that Green goes and pledges to LSU tomorrow. Again, we'll talk a little bit of to Billy Embody coming up about this. But you start to think about now, and we've talked about the weapons, right? And the weapons that LSU is going to have on this year's team is scary. When you think about Kyron Lacey and the potential that he could bring to this offense if he keeps up the standard that he set for himself in spring and is able to take that to the field come the fall. And he's just another weapon that Mike Denbrock, Brian Kelly, and the offensive staff have at their disposal. You're talking about a real deep, loaded, talented group. And one of my favorite players coming in this class, without question, is Pimpton. Is it Kamora?
Kamarian.
Kamarian Pimpton.
Stewie's been all over this man.
Stewie has. And credit to Stewie because he's been a day one on the pimp.
Yeah.
But after you watch his film and you see how LSU wants to use the tight end, and there was no Mason Taylor and no Mac Markway. And shout out to the Markways, by the way, who Jay and I were walking out of the stadium, and Mr. and Miss Markway came down and stopped us and said they listen to the show all the time up in Missouri and love it and have kept up with a lot of LSU football and a lot of LSU sports through our program. So shout out to the Markways. But Mac was out with a hamstring. Mason Taylor was out with a little bit of an injury as well. So you didn't really have the full load of tight end in that game, right? And we'll see a much more deeper group come fall when you put more out there. Now you're going to lose. You're going to bring all of those guys back, and Mason Taylor and the guys and Mac Markway and Pimpton and all of those guys will be back for another season. You add Tradez Green to the mix of what potential a group could have more of Brian Thomas and Aaron Anderson and a much more experienced Kyle Parker and
Chris Hilton,
Shelton Sampson and Jalen Brown.
Oh.
I mean, the weapons and the capabilities that this offense can have. Not only that, tagged along with a high-end quarterback, with a Ricky Collins or a Colin Hurley or anyone down the line here that seems as if LSU continues to throw in the boat. It's incredible what they've been able to do in recruiting so fast at the tight end position. I mean, it was just a year ago where you were wondering, what the hell are they going to do?
They're bringing Nick Storrs back in.
And counting on him.
We needed him. And then 2 years ago, who was that guy with the former quarterback with the cowboy collar that fixed the offense against Florida?
Yeah, Hawthorne? No. Damn.
Jack Mashburn.
Smashburn. I mean, that was the key to the offense under Ed Orgeron. Once he put him in and put him in motion.
I mean, Ty Davis probably should have given him that game
those
ball
300 yards.
He should have given him a signing bonus for the NFL.
Yeah, from the Niners.
So I mean, you got Tradez Green, and you've also got Tavion Galloway in that class as well, who is a big time player, and teamed alongside Pimpton, Mac Markway. Mason Taylor's still going to be here.
Jackson, is it
McGowan?
McGowan?
I mean, who was in the game on Saturday? He was the only eligible tight end that was out there.
In motion.
Always.
It's just another in line of these weapons that LSU's rarely had. I mean, it's been
like one or two, maybe.
Yeah, right. But to have as many as they'll have on the roster, and you know that they're going to use them. I mean,
well, that's the difference, right? That's what the whole offense is predicated around the tight ends. That's been a Brian Kelly, Mike Denbrock staple as long as they've been coaching, and it's just such a funny juxtaposition for it to happen at LSU whenever they've I mean, if you listed off the best tight ends in LSU history, where do you start and where do you end? It's not a long list.
No, it's not. I guess Brian Kinchin.
Richard Dixon
Thaddeus Moss is
and
up there.
Thad Moss would be there from 2019. That's how long it's been. I mean, you could throw. It's not like they haven't had talented tight ends. They just didn't use them. It was just another left tackle or right tackle.
You got to throw my guy D'Angelo Peterson in there.
He is the most talented one, and that was the most frustrating part of that entire era. I don't know. That man was allergic to the end zone.
I really and truly in a decade where Les Miles dumped more talent into the river than he did into the NFL, I would put D'Angelo Peterson as maybe the biggest waste of Les Miles' career at LSU.
But that one play,
I mean,
the reverse.
That reverse
was awesome. But could you imagine watching
4
him
years for this?
run verticals, run
seam routes?
just like seam routes from the slot or running just – put him in the backfield and let him run put him
a wheel route.
Just oh man,
he was such an athlete.
He was so good. In a locker room that was full of freaks, he was the freakiest.
Les was like, I think he looks good blocking.
Yeah, let's put him in line.
Put him on line, yeah.
David LaFleur for sure. Robert Royal is in that mix as well. From some of you that are typing in. But, yeah, it's not as if LSU has never had good tight ends. They've never had as many tight ends as they'll have on the roster with the capabilities that this crew does. You're talking about guys like Pimpton and Green that, they are exactly what the NFL is looking for today.
And if you're looking at the 1-3 recruiting, 99.4% chance that Trey does pops for LSU today. Do you think that he'll play both?
Yes. No, I've gotten confirmation from both that he's signing with both. He's coming in with the intention to play both.
Averaged 27 and 11 last year.
Coach, have you seen him play basketball?
The basketball highlights.
The basketball highlights are.
What?
Will Wade was telling me about Trey Green 2 years ago.
And he was in what, 8th grade or what?
He was in
a
ninth
He
grade.
was a sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, but this was coming off of his 9th grade year. They knew exactly who he was. Really, what Will Wade was worried about was exactly
Football?
what's happening. Was that they're going to see him and they're going to be like, no.
You should play.
They're going to do what they did to Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted Brian Thomas to play basketball. Wade
wanted Brian Thomas to play basketball.
Quincy Wiggins.
Yeah.
Quincy Wiggins to this day, is still. The biggest recruiter on campus for Quincy was the basketball coach. It was.
Quincy, if you come
but
here,
that's what happens
basketball
in
team.
Louisiana to basketball players. Trey Green is a legitimate basketball prospect. He could go to the Nike, Adidas, ABCD camp and be a star. But football coaches in South Louisiana see him and they're like, absolutely not.
His own football coach.
Put this guy in the slot and make him a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's a red zone tight end.
Well, what do you mean, Coach? You've got 3 of them on the roster. I don't care. You're going to be a pro too. This is exactly what the NFL is looking for.
Got a stretch
6'6", 225.
Playing tight end.
And I would say 6'7".
And I bet he has a 38-inch vertical.
Oh,
I'm being light.
His basketball film is intimidating. He puts it on your head. He seeks you out. He wants to embarrass you. He wants to put you on a highlight film.
But my only concern is because LSU that we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Whenever we were trying to figure out a way for Matt McMahon to get talent, in-state talent, and that's what we came to the conclusion that it was
go to the football locker room,
right? But when's the last time you've seen somebody do both at LSU? Marcus Spears tried, Corey Webster tried.
Robert Royal did it.
Robert Royal did it.
He gave John Brady minutes in 2002, I believe. I'm trying to think who else. Marcus Spears, Corey Webster, and Michael Clayton came out for a week, and they didn't make it 3 days.
Damn. It was too much.
It was just Spears and Clayton were throwing up.
Jeez.
It was just a different type of shape, and because of what they did to Marcus Spears in football, Spears signed as a tight end. Mm-hmm. And when he got here, if you go back and watch some of that 2001 season, their freshman season, he catches a pass in Tennessee, in Knoxville. He catches a little out route. And, I mean, he still looks like Marcus Spears. I mean, he's still got that big old ass. But, I mean, he's got hips. You know what I mean?
He looks a little more.
But over the next couple of months, Moffitt and Saban were like, this guy's a defensive player. Put 35 pounds on him. Make him huge.
Put his hand in the dirt.
And put his hand in the dirt and make him a disruptor. So, I mean, like, by the time that Marcus went to go play basketball, he was a defensive end. You know what I mean? Like, he was.
I'm 300, Coach.
Right, like, Coach, I can't be running like this, man.
These guys
I can't be running like this.
Zion ain't around yet.
And I think Clayton was just celebrating a successful freshman season.
Yeah, he's like,
you know what I mean?
I can go play basketball.
Football's
Mike
tight.
was like, yeah, I'll play basketball. Why not? I mean, they're like, all right, well, you need to run suicides. He was like, I've been
never
partying
mind.
for about 3 weeks.
Yeah. You could even see it whenever Kerry Vincent was here and he was on the track team, and they have video of him like thrown up in the trash can after like they had just done the football season, and he's back at track practice. He's like, track's different. Like, you all good? He's like, yeah. Then he goes, it's like track and basketball, like it's just a different type of shape where you got
to stop, especially for a football player.
Yeah.
Right, like you got at least 15 seconds.
You get a lot more rest time.
Yeah,
in
you get. I mean, you're running it, and then you're getting 30 seconds in between. I mean, in basketball, you
Non-stop.
rarely sprint. You know what I mean? Like, open it up. I mean, if you do, it's probably 10 steps. And then you have to stop. I mean, really the only one out of those three, and those three were the best 3 basketball players in the state of Louisiana during that cycle. And I'm telling you, that was a cycle that had like Chris Duhon in it, who went to Duke and was the point guard. Marcus Spears was offered by Krzyzewski and Duke. Yeah. Like, he was a top 100 basketball player in the country. He had the softest hand. He had big baby hands. Mm-hmm. His hands were like big baby. I mean, if he got his hands on it, you couldn't get it away from him. And he would snap it, and you know what I mean? And he could go up and he could dunk it. I mean, like, that was the difference between him and Glenn. I mean, Glenn would just kind of, he'd use his butt to create space. And he would, I mean, remember Glenn Davis would shoot layups under the goal. Like, he would shoot a legitimate layup, like, under Joakim Noah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Noah and those guys, Horford, are like trying to swap, but they can't get over his ass. Because if they do, they're going to foul him.
He's just got this big
right?
He's
Marcus Spears would catch that, power dribble it,
booty bump,
go straight up, and like Shaq dunk it.
Like, push you through the
like
goal.
Swing his legs out, you know what I mean? Where you're like, good Lord. I mean, Marcus Spears was I mean, if you never saw him play basketball, I'm telling you, you would go into a Southern Lab gym during his junior season, and on the front row was Rick Pitino, Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, Bill Self. I mean, the who's who of college basketball was in Baton Rouge watching them play, and then they would get in the car and go down to St. James and watch Corey Webster play. Corey Webster, out of those 3, was the only one that was kind of like standing there looking around, but Saban was in his ear telling him, I'm going to make you a millionaire. Like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
If you go turn your ankle out here, man, you're never gonna you're gonna regret this forever. You know, like, I know you want to do this, but I've got you in a position now where you could be a first-round pick. Yeah. You know, and I think, you know, Webby, as much as he wanted to play, I think it was a business decision at that time. It was just, he was a year older than those guys, and he was a year closer to it. He ended up coming back for 2004, but he was, I mean, he was as good of a basketball player as the state had produced up to that point. I'm telling you, Corey Webster was as dominant of a basketball player as he was a football player.
Another save and switch too.
Yeah.
Didn't he come in as a receiver?
Came in as a quarterback. He was St. James's quarterback, but they moved him to receiver his freshman year. Another one that if you turn on the film, that game that Josh Reed and Rohan go nuts, he makes a beautiful sideline catch, and he gets hit right before the end zone. I'm telling you, like, the pylon is like right here, and he catches it and gets hit. He rolls over the pylon. I mean, it was almost like it was a score. But his freshman season, he played wide receiver, at LSU and got some reps,
Oh,
got some run.
He flashes on some of the tape. You're like, wait, is that Corey Webster?
Yes.
Like the DB?
I'm telling you.
And then what? Josh Reed came in as a running back.
Yeah, because somebody asked him to
Josh
check.
Reed was the running back. Josh Booty told told whoever at the time, it might have been DiNardo. It might have been DiNardo that because the running back room at that time was loaded. I mean, the running back room when Josh Reed was there was like Toefield, Dominic Davis, all that crew was there. So like they were like, man, there's only one football, and Josh Reed was like, I want to play, and Josh Booty would get his crew together in the summer, and they would go run routes, and Josh Reed was always out there, and Josh Booty was the one that told either DiNardo or the wide receivers coach at that time, you need to
Jerry Robinson.
You need to make Josh Reed needs to be a wide receiver. And they put him at wide receiver, coach, and
Bald.
I mean, he was a bad bit. Like they could not guard him. He was Josh. The thing I always remember about Josh Reed is that he was always wide open. I'm telling you, he would be standing like by himself, and this was like on his 6th, 7th, 8th catch of the day.
Uh-huh.
You know, you're like, how in the hell is this guy so open?
And he's 25. Somebody mark him.
Right. Like,
and he was the one that started the one eye patch. And I mean, like it lasted until Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, but it was Josh Reed, Michael Clayton, Skylar Green, Corey Webster
was in that
and
mix.
then I guess it goes to TM after that.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson.
Yes.
Oh, no, Patrick
He
Peterson.
did the
had
one
across
long
the
one, and
face.
Harold
Yeah.
Perkins is bringing that one back. Because I got
number one defense.
Yeah, I got Patrick's. They did like a fan day whenever I was in high school, and I got Patrick Peterson to sign like a poster, and he put number one defense on it, and I was like, oh, that's just hitting me right where like right in the good spot.
No doubt.
Right in the nostalgia.
It's still up in the room somewhere, but what a honey hole.
I mean, Josh Reed, bro. He was people. If you don't know how good Josh Reed was, and I know that we talk about wide receivers at LSU, and you want to make the list, and the list is embarrassing. I mean, the names that are on the LSU wide receiver list, like Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson, and Michael Clayton. Josh Reed was as good as any of them. And if you didn't watch Josh Reed play, man, his junior season was it was Jamar Chase like. It was Justin Jefferson like. It was Odell. It was Jarvis. It was these cats that Wendell Davis. It was these cats that came in here and had these could change the game from the wide receiver position. I mean, it's very rare. I say that, but now it's more common in football because of how much you throw the ball. But, I mean, at LSU, when those guys were doing it, especially Reed, Beckham, Landry, I mean, they weren't throwing the ball. I mean, they weren't. And Reed was, bruh, he was so good, man. That fourth down pickup against Tennessee in the SEC championship, where he's like dragging that cat with him. I mean, it's like 4th and 5, and he catches it like 4 yards, and he's dragging this dude with him and reaches for it. He was, I mean, like, and the thing about Josh Reed was he was the same age as us. Like he graduated in 98 from high school. I graduated in 99, and in 1998, the top 3 rushers in the state of Louisiana was Josh Reed 1, Brandon Bourgeois, who was at Parkview Baptist. It was on my squad, was number 2, and LeBrandon Toefield was number 3. So, I mean, like, we were keeping up with Josh Reed because our guy and Josh Reed were back and forth each week at 1 and 2 in the state as the top rushers in the state. And Bourgeois was a dog. Saban loved Brandon Bourgeois. Loved him. He ended up being a preferred walk-on and ended up quitting. He ended up making it. But he would have played for LSU if he would have stuck it out. He was an incredible athlete. But Josh Reed at that time, man, he was a great running back. And when he got to LSU, you kind of thought, man, he might get lost in the mix. And him popping up at wide receiver, it was just it was incredible. Randy Lanois, Tommy Hudson Tommy Hudson, head college. Sorry. I thought you were talking about Tommy Hudson because Hudson was a great basketball player as well. All right, we got Billy Embody who is from On 3. We'll bring him into the conversation here and talk to him a little bit about recruiting. And Billy, good morning. How are you, buddy? Uh-oh. You got Billy? Bill?
William?
Yep, you got me.
I got you. We're just talking about so they just picked up a commitment, and we want to get to the commitment that they picked up over the weekend. But there is an announcement set for tomorrow with Trades Green, and Green is one of these. He's one of these special athletes, man, that can he can play both. He can legitimately play college basketball and college football. It's a tough ask, but he can do it. What do you expect from him tomorrow, and what type of athlete is he?
Yeah, Trades Green is one of those fun prospects to evaluate because he gets it done in multiple sports. He's got that high-end potential that you love to see when it comes to prospects. You mentioned him being able to do it in both basketball and football. He's going to have that opportunity, and I think it'll be at LSU. Alabama, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Miami are the finalists. He's the consensus top 3 player in Louisiana, no matter what recruiting service you follow in that regard. So a really highly thought of prospect. I think the big thing with Trades Green is it all just needs to kind of come together. He has the production from his junior season that you love to see. You also see sometimes where, okay, you want to see a little bit more out of him as far as consistency goes. But when it all comes together, he's got that real opportunity to be a day 1, day 2 type of NFL draft pick. I know he'll get the opportunity to play basketball at LSU. Matt McMahon and his staff have done a really nice job recruiting him as well. And he's been on campus a ton. And I think he's really shown genuine interest in the program. This isn't a guy they had to, necessarily convince to stay home in this, big pitch and things like that. He's just quietly gone about his business and showed up at LSU all the time. He's got a good relationship with a bunch of the coaches and support staff on Brian Kelly's staff. And I think tomorrow around 2:00, you'll see him pick LSU.
Bill, more on the tight ends that LSU has now been able to collect into the boat and put onto the roster. They've had really good tight ends through this program over the years, and there's been some really good ones in the history of the program. I don't know if they've ever had a collection like they will have on the roster next season when you talk about guys like Pimpton and Markway and Mason Taylor, and then you add Green and Tavion Galloway to the mix. What has been the emphasis of recruiting that position, and what do you expect from the production there when they have all of these guys on campus?
Yeah, I think, one, you've got Mason Taylor, so that is a good thing. He could set the tone. He can be that reliable guy. You don't need anybody to necessarily be this superstar from day one because you have Mason Taylor, a guy who's proven he can do it in the clutch. But the intriguing thing about this tight end room is all the different bodies that they're collecting. And you have a Kamorian Pimpton, who has this insane over 7-foot wingspan and catch radius and looks like he's a small forward for a SEC team who's going to come in this summer. And he's played wide receiver. He's going to need to develop as a blocker. You have Mac Markway on the roster now, who's kind of that physical blocking presence. Jackson McGohan, who showed over the last 2 years in high school, he could do a little bit of everything. And so he's kind of versatile in that sense, a little bit more like a Mason Taylor. And now you have Tavion Galloway committed, who's kind of I think a guy who can be a developmental player. He'll be a good 4-year guy, 4 or 5-year guy. And then if you get Trades Green, that's your next in line. If you look at the guys who have that kind of superstar potential that they have at this position, you have a Mason Taylor who's a household name, a very, very good player. You have Kamorian Pimpton, who could end up being a star. Jackson McGohan has showed some of those traits. And then you have Trades Green. And I would say that LSU isn't going to stop recruiting Caleb Odom, the 4-star tight end who's a top 50 prospect in the country out of Georgia. He's going to be a tough pull, but he's been on campus. He was just on campus for the spring game. He was at the Alabama game. And LSU is not going to give up there either. And he might be the most polished and highest of potential out of all those guys. So they're recruiting the tight end position very well, and it's a position that the future looks bright at LSU.
The last to commit Deshaun McBride over the weekend. Denham Springs product, a very physically imposing safety. I think once people saw a Denham Springs player get an LSU offer, many believed it would have been tough to get him out of Livingston Parish. He pledges to LSU over the weekend. What type of player do they pick up?
He's one of my favorite prospects in Louisiana this cycle. I think he should be a little bit higher on the rankings than he is right now. And he's an on 300 prospect. He's inside 24/7's top 247. So, two of the services are really, really high on Deshaun McBride. He's 6'3", 200. He's got that chance, I think, to grow into maybe a linebacker, play like a will linebacker. But also he has that kind of Grant Delpit-ness to him where he can play in the box. He can come off the edge. He's comfortable in coverage. He plays it a ton in 7-on-7. I think he's somebody that is a really smart pickup for LSU. They didn't wait around until camp to evaluate him more or see him in spring ball. They went on their gut. They got, his 100-meter time was encouraging. He set the school record for a single season in interceptions. All the production's there. They didn't want this one to slip through the cracks like a Jordan Matthews did last cycle. So they went ahead and offered, got him on campus, and that was one he was waiting on. And sure enough, he made the move and committed. So I'm really, really high on Deshaun McBride and what he's going to bring to LSU. And I think this is shaping up to be a really nice safety class for Kerry Cooks.
How many do you think they want to sign here?
So they have Maurice Williams already committed as well. I think the interesting thing about this safety position is, once again, LSU's recruiting guys that could be versatile. And they also have guys on their roster now that could be versatile. Javian Toviano, for example, could play a little safety and has already. But I think they want to get 3 to 4. They have Maurice Williams committed. They have Deshaun McBride committed now. Joel Rogers is right there in state, and they'd love to get him. Obviously, he's kind of that true free safety, I think, in terms of, his speed and just prototypical size. They have a nickel committed in Wallace Foster, and they're going after Juwan Johnson, the former Colorado commit out of Lafayette Christian, as well. So I think they're going to shoot for the stars on that. I would say what would be a final safety type of take. It wouldn't shock me if they signed 4, but I think they definitely want 3. And then I would think they addressed it through the transfer portal next spring as well.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Juwan Johnson's decommitment from Colorado and what it means potentially for LSU.
Yeah, I think it could bring some good news for LSU. I had my on-3 RPM pick for LSU for a long, long time, and probably should have left it knowing that maybe in the end he wasn't going to end up going all the way out to Colorado. There was just kind of always a sense of that around Juwan, that in the end it wasn't going to go through in terms of going to Colorado and going all the way out there. That's a long way to go. And not many prospects do that. Coming from Louisiana, they normally find a place closer to home. So Juwan Johnson, he's got a Florida official visit set for this summer. The Gators were in his top 3 along with LSU. But I do like where LSU stands here. I think he's a player that they've recruited very hard. They just had him on campus recently as well. And I think he stays home in the end. There's just a lot of ties there that they normally work really well and get LCA kids on board. So right now, everything looks good for LSU, in my opinion. You get him to decommit, and now it's kind of open season on him again, which is a good thing. And you have all this time still to keep recruiting him and get him on board.
5-star edge rusher Colin Simmons was in town over the weekend for the spring game. What type of impact was LSU able to make?
Yeah, just continuing to recruit him really well, make him feel at home. His mom was with him once again. I think he's a prospect that will take a lot more visits. He has official visits in mind. I think he will take it all the way to signing day, in my opinion, right now. And if that's the case, it's going to be a long, long process. So you just kind of got to hang in there with Colin Simmons. There's a lot of programs that are going to throw everything at him. I think he's worth it. He's a top 10 prospect. He's the number 1 edge rusher in the country. When you look at LSU's roster right now, after losing B.J. Ojolari and Deshaun Womack, does he play Jack? Does he play strong side defensive end? you need a guy like Colin Simmons to come off the edge. Harold Perkins can do that for you as well, but they're trying to play him a little bit more at linebacker. They've got to get Colin Simmons. He's one of those. I really do think. I think he's just a generational type of pass rusher that you can line up and feel really good about just about every down going and getting the quarterback. But LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, TCU, Oregon, there's a bunch of schools that are in the mix for official visits and will be in the mix until the end. I think LSU is definitely right there at the top of his recruitment.
Duncanville is loaded with talent. When you talk about Colin Simmons being on that team, they've also got a 4-star safety in Kadavian Dotson-Walker that LSU is interested in. But their running back in Caden Durham seems to be at the top of LSU's offensive list, with Frank Wilson leading the charge there. I know that he was back in town this weekend from Duncanville, from Texas. How was that for LSU?
So Caden Durham was in Oklahoma this weekend, but he was at LSU the weekend prior. He's made a couple visits to LSU now. He is an Oklahoma legacy. His mom ran track at OU. So that is going to be something to watch there. And the Sooners generally recruit Duncanville well with just the proximity. They also have one of his former teammates. I think they crossed over each other there in Savion Byrd, an offensive lineman. So there are some ties with Oklahoma, but LSU is really pushing hard here. And I think they've done a really nice job recruiting him. Duncanville is a hard school to get into. They normally send players to a handful of schools when they're in terms of the top players, and they always have a couple of those guys each year. So if LSU can kind of kick the door down and finally get one of these high-end prospects from Duncanville, it'll say a lot about the future recruiting that school as well. It would be tough to come up, kind of a pair of snake eyes because they're after 4 Duncanville players. Colin Simmons, Caden Durham, Kadavian Dotson-Walker, and Alex January, who his whole family's from Louisiana. He's a Texas legacy, but all of his family's down in Lake Charles. He's a 4-star defensive tackle. But if they can get Caden Durham, it would be a really impressive recruiting job. I know they're right there at the top of his recruitment. I think LSU and OU are just duking it out here. And I don't know when he's going to make his decision. I'm looking forward to seeing him on Monday as their spring ball gets going. But Caden Durham is a guy that LSU has squarely put themselves in the mix for as well.
It looked like it was a very successful weekend for LSU. When you look down on the sideline prior to the spring game, I mean, it was filled with high-end elite recruits. How was this weekend for the Tigers?
Yeah, I think this was a great weekend. And I think the nice thing about it, and it just shows kind of how things have changed over the years, we're not talking about them hosting 300 prospects like, the cattle calls of days
yesteryear.
past. Yesteryear. Thank you. have been. It was a good, intimate atmosphere for prospects to enjoy some time with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Angel Reese, everybody involved with this recruiting weekend. And I think that helps. I've just gotten to know parents over the years, and a lot of them always bring up, well, we want to go back to X school for a more intimate visit when they have these big visit weekends, because it's just, meeting. You're in a room with 50 on a tour with, 25. You don't get that personal feel. This weekend, just with the number of prospects and the true targets that they brought in, felt like that. They had a nice collection of in-state talent, both in 2024 and 2025 that were on campus. They had a few big-time prospects on the defensive side of the ball, I really felt like, as well. We talked about Colin Simmons, but they had Selman Bridges, a top 100 cornerback in town. They had Kai Bates, another 4-star, who's going to set an official visit with LSU here soon. They had Caleb Moore, a 4-star defensive lineman on campus. They had a good group of commits back in town. I just thought it was a really, really well-done weekend for LSU, and, we'll see. I would imagine they get more than just Deshaun McBride out of this weekend.
Wow. One of our listeners, Adrian Bailey, writes in, at Jordy, Caden ran a 10.33 in the 100-meter at the district track meet over the weekend and came in third.
That's 3 state records.
That's unbelievable. All right, Bill. So, What's that? Yeah, that's unbelievable.
He's got wheels.
Bill, real quick before I get you out of here, what do you think's going on at Colorado?
I don't know. It's a really tough sign and a tough look when you have a commit that comes back to campus and immediately decommits. And I had heard even called a couple of the staffs that have been recruiting him and decommitted and let him know it was happening while he was there. So that's not ideal. I do think Deion Sanders is naturally kind of running off a bunch of players. They brought in a ton. Mm-hmm. But in terms of recruiting, I heard it was a little disorganized. I heard it was, just different. And some players will probably vibe with it, and some players not so much. Xavier Atkins, an LSU linebacker commit, was actually there, and he had some good things to say. He's very complimentary of every visit he takes, honestly. But, he was there, and there were a few other players that were on campus. A newly offered defensive lineman that LSU is going after now, DeAndre Robinson out of Florida, was there. And I don't know how much he enjoyed it, but it was just kind of a mixed bag of a weekend there for Colorado. But the culture is quite a change from what it's been, and obviously they were losing, so you got to try something new. But it's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
One from a listener, Chili asked, Billy, what about Draylon Miller?
Yeah, Draylon Miller was another big one that was in town, a top 100 prospect. A guy that I think LSU is battling A&M for. He dropped the top 9. I think the main thing, though, is LSU and A&M are really battling it out for Draylon Miller. He's out of Silsbee, Texas, right down the road, kind of in a sense from LSU, also right down the road from College Station in a way. So LSU's offered him in basketball. They've recruited him for a long time. They've made him a big priority. I think he's giving really good vibes to both coaching staffs. And this is one of those classic SEC battles, recruiting battles between LSU and Texas A&M. And this one's going to be interesting. I'm really intrigued to see if LSU can pull this one off, because I know A&M is feeling good too. And when both staffs are feeling good, somebody's not getting the full story. So he's a really good prospect. And one LSU is, in terms of effort and kind of what they're throwing out there, I think he's one of those guys they're recruiting as hard as anybody on the offensive side of the ball.
Anybody in the transfer portal you expect to pop on either side, going in for LSU or coming out that LSU could nab?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about going in. There'll probably be somebody that's a backup that ultimately decides, I can try to, play somewhere else and has some film from the spring, recent film that they can kind of go in and use. But, it's been a few days now, and we're coming up on the top of that, the end of that portal window. So it's going to be close if anybody does enter. But then, for LSU targeting players, they're evaluating a bunch of safeties out there. And I've actually seen a good mix of safeties kind of go into the portal. So I'm intrigued to see if they can go after one and kind of address with somebody who's started elsewhere that can come in and compete and provide some depth. That position is, kind of thin when there's injuries involved, and it's just kind of in a precarious spot. So I think they'll try to address that position. They have Mason Lunsford coming in from Maryland on the offensive line. So maybe they find the right guy on the offensive line that could come in and compete, but they already kind of have him coming in from a depth perspective. So I think for the most part, they're fairly set. They'll probably take a best available approach and see what kind of comes up. But I would say this window hasn't been as wild as I would have thought, in the sense, I thought spring ball would have been a really good opportunity for a lot of guys to get film and then roll into the portal from the spring. But from my perspective, it hasn't been like too wild. Bear Alexander, Jordan Hudson have been the big ones, I think, that have really entered.
Last one. Any name and expectation on a date for a defensive line coach, LSU?
I think we're looking at the first or second week of May. I don't have a name. That much I can tell you. I've got to give them credit over there. They're pretty tight-lipped on who knows what.
They found the leaks for sure. A couple of years. They have.
Yeah. They got what was that commercial? They slapped the black rubber on there. The whole boat is floating. But I would say first or second week of May. They're going through exit meetings these first few days. It's what is it, Tuesday now? They'll wrap those up by Thursday, and then I think Brian Kelly will kind of circle and really get the list of guys who are truly interested. And talking with a couple of industry sources, some agents out there, they expect this hire to be an outside hire, a guy that is relatively well known, has skins on the wall. What that looks like, I don't know in terms of who, but I've been told the interest is substantial. The salary, the recruiting base, the guys you get to work with. This is a job that can springboard you onto bigger and better things in a sense. As a coach, if you can come into LSU and develop the guys the right way, it can say a lot about you, and then you take that and you continue on your career on a high arc. So from what I've gathered, the interest is substantial, and they expect, at least on the kind of agent side of things, they expect it to be a really good hire.
Flex Seal.
Flex Seal.
That's what it was. Yeah, Billy Mays, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Speaking of R.I.P., sorry about your Lightning, brother.
Oh, man. Well,
4-1's tough, the hardest league in sports.
At least we're playing the Maple Leafs, because until they get that fourth win, we're certainly not dead yet.
Not quite dead yet.
Have a great day, Bill. Great to see you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Billy and Bonnie from On3. Check him out. They got a great podcast over there with Shay, wrapping up some recruiting. Speaking of that, Shay will be with us tomorrow morning, talking some recruiting, back with us on a Wednesday to kind of wrap up with the world of recruiting. And it's happening right now, so make sure and pay attention. We appreciate Billy and Bonnie for stopping by and briefing us on a lot of names, including Trey'Dez Green. It sounds like he's pretty confident that Green's going to pledge to LSU tomorrow when he makes this announcement over at his school at 2 o'clock over at East Feliciana. Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal brings you the Jordy Culotta Show every single day. They're online at premierSouthLA.com. If you're in the market for a new roof, or if you think you may need a new roof, get in touch with the pros over at Premier South, premierSouthLA.com. Online, if you're in the listening area of Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, North Shore, coming soon to Daphne and Fairhope, Alabama, they can get a pro over to you today. Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal, Louisiana's premier roofing experts. They are experts in residential roofing, commercial roofing, metal roofing. They can help you with gutters and awnings, roof repair, roof maintenance. We're always reminding you about the 8 years. 8 years. If your roof is 8 years or older, odds are you qualify for a brand new roof. You definitely qualify for an inspection of your current roof. Let one of the pros from Premier South jump up on the roof today and let them know, and they'll let you know if you need a brand new roof. They'll work with the insurance company to make sure that you're taking advantage of all that you can from your insurance provider. Get in touch with Premier South today. premierSouthLA.com. premierSouthLA.com. Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal, Louisiana's premier roofing experts. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show. The Carpool Queen is here. We'll reset. We'll be back with more right after this. Hour 2 coming at you. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health.
Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done. Corrects done. Personal injury done. Workers' comp done. Truck wrecks done. Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done.
In 1975, Mike Anderson left the gridiron for the grill, opening a po' boy shop near LSU. If you're from Louisiana, odds are you've tasted a dish, experienced the tradition of Mike Anderson's seafood. 48 years later, the tradition of Mike Anderson's lives on with the next generation.
I'm very thankful.
He's never allowed okay to be okay. It's a driving force for me to just want to keep it as good as he made it.
Mike Anderson's Seafood and WAFB, celebrating the community.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculottashow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Fourier Insurance Agency, established in 1946, locally can help you with any of your home, auto, commercial, contractors, life and health insurance today. Give them a call, 225-383-0682, or log online to FourierAgency.com.
Hey, she's on her way up.
AG, I got you something.
Hey, Coach. What do you think? Is this too much?
If you look good, you play good.
All right, then. Let's get it done.
Do you need your roof checked or just ready to get a new roof? Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal has helped over 10,000 customers with their roofs over the last 2 decades. Premier South employs over 300 team members in South Louisiana. They're accredited by the Better Business Bureau. They've been named in the top 100 roofers in the nation for a number of years. And Premier South has former insurance adjusters in-house whose job it is to help get all the insurance money you deserve. So go to PremierSouthLA.com for Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal and get your free inspection.
Premier South Roofing.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, built by RMB Builders. The Carpool Queen is here. Lloyd is claiming she has an attitude.
I don't have an attitude. I walked
She's still
in.
mad about Furball.
I'm so over Furball. Honestly, I'm not the Carpool Queen anymore, Jordy. This is my last carpool.
That's what it is. I told you it was something.
That's it.
I told you that's what it was.
I don't have an attitude about it.
You're sad.
That's it?
I'm sad.
Today is the day? Today is the day? Oh, wow. Well, today's a huge day.
I know. I'm
I
really
knew it. I
sad.
told you I had to read.
Good call,
But that's not
Thank
an
you.
attitude.
Good
You
call,
said I walked in
Lloyd.
like
Wow.
that.
Well, I'm just saying there
Great
was
call.
something heavy on your mind.
But you
might
could
be a
tell
good
something
husband.
was on your mind.
Huh?
Lloyd might be a good husband.
Hey,
I
Lloyd,
got good
do you want
feel.
to get married?
Yes, give me that, and I'll bring you mine.
See what I can get
Was
for
that a
this.
BVS?
So today is the last day
For
of
morning
carpool.
carpool, yeah.
Two
I only
carrot,
have Cooper
2.3.
left in some afternoons. So that's
Well, I
gonna
thought
be
we
it.
were debating a punishment of extending the license.
We did debate it.
Ah, you
See,
caved.
oh, you can't take your personal
You
preferences
caved.
out just because.
So she has her license?
She has her license.
Like she's got it in hand?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, keys to the car, everything. All good?
Yes.
Wow,
I-
her life
I had to check her out
changes
yesterday to
today.
get it.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Which
Can
one
you-
is this?
Sophie.
Her only one.
Anna
the
Kate
only-
has her license
Yeah,
already.
Anna Kate already has it. Sophie, just so you know, if you're listening, your
She's
first
not.
your punishment will be that you're going to get your car taken away and you will be carpooled.
Yeah.
That is
would
going
a
to
huge
be.
punishment.
That's the worst
That'd be a
one
great
right there.
punishment.
And I asked her, I'm like, so you're gonna like start driving to school like by yourself? Mom, everyone that has their license drives to school by themselves. And I'm like, I understand, but like you've never done that before. Like the
You need a
drive.
ride
You
with
tried
you?
to guilt trip her? You want to follow her?
I know, right? Kind
Right,
of.
shotgun.
The driving instructor yesterday said, okay, she did great, but 2 things. She turned into a neighborhood going pretty fast on a turn. And then she didn't see a school zone and she like whipped right through there. And I said, did you see the sign? And she said, what sign?
Oh, jeez.
Did she get on her phone while she was driving?
No, with the
right.
driving test
Well,
instructor.
I don't know these kids these days.
new
They
kids,
just like, hold on, I
it's
gotta pop. I gotta be real right quick.
Right,
Yeah, driving test.
I gotta pop the TikTok real quick so I can.
About to get my license. No, you're not.
My buddy Blake
my
Oglesby took a
God.
left on red.
Oh,
Did he? You thought you could take a right on it because he took a right on red.
Just kind of a suggestion.
She was
I
like,
just thought,
"What are you doing, son?"
I'm
He was
dyslexic.
like, "Well, there's nobody coming. What do you mean?" He was like,
All
you
good?
can't take a left on red. Like she was like, "Fail!
automatic fail.
Get back to the DMV now."
My buddy's mom did my driver's test, and she was like, if this was anybody else, you would 100% fail.
Are you
I had no
serious?
idea where I was going. I'd never pay attention.
I mean,
Like, I'm terrible on the road.
They try to confuse
I can
you.
drive,
Okay, I hope you can drive.
but I'm not
Thank
good
you
with
for clarifying.
Yeah, I'm a good driver, but if I don't have my phone and like, I still put in like work to get here.
no, you do not.
Yeah, for the traffic.
Something's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but
I mean, I use
but
Waze a lot
Stewie-
for
yes,
traffic.
Okay, no,
Stewie's
because
re-
when Lloyd was bringing me to work, Lloyd would like turn the wrong way some days. Like he'd be like, "Oh,
Stop.
Right out the gate."
Like and like we'd be leaving, he'd turn to get on the interstate.
Oh,
he's like,
That's the way I go.
He's
I'm
like,
on
I thought I was
track
going
mine.
home. I was like, Lloyd, I'm going home.
You're
and
driving
you're going
like a
home after.
woman.
Yeah, he drives like he
Yeah,
drives like a woman.
that's
No sense of direction is a little annoying to me.
Oh, 100%. It's annoying to me. That's why I don't drive.
But you do drive because you have
Well, I
to.
drive by myself,
You
but
get
if
yourself here.
given the opportunity of somebody else to take the wheel, it is all yours, brother. And I will not say a peep because I don't know where we're going.
Right.
So I'm a great road buddy, terrible captain.
But you can drive. You know
Oh,
the
I'm
rules
a-
of the road, and like you're a good driver.
Oh yeah, ask the state of Louisiana. Exonerated.
How'd that go yesterday?
Exonerated of all charges.
Nice. Why? Because the guy didn't show up.
Yep.
Smart man, explanation.
I got the
33 and 25 is a little pointless.
She
That's
scoffed.
stupid.
She
That's a
scoffed
little
at it.
pointless.
That's stupid.
The
yeah.
ADA scoffed.
It was
She
in
was
your
like,
neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
I mean, come on, man.
I know.
I mean, this is a city that's under fire. Right
Yeah,
now.
I know, right?
I mean,
and
like,
that's what you're
He put
doing.
his
Let's
hands in the
let a
bulletproof
couple of
vest.
let's let a couple of the guys go on the 33
yeah.
and the 25.
That's why I thought he was stopping me to tell me that there's like something.
Right.
Buckle
your seatbelt. You're driving into a war zone.
Right,
son.
yeah, this is Fallujah.
33 ain't fast enough.
Do you need a gun?
Right.
Hope you got
Here,
the
use
bulletproof
mine.
He was like waving me down. I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "You're speeding." And I was like,
What's
"There's no."
going on?
It's like, "What's happening?"
Is there an emergency nearby?
Son. And I was like, "What?
What's up, man? What's the deal?"
What do I need to do? Like pull over?" He's like, "Well, yeah."
Wait, was he like throwing the hand?
Oh yeah, all the cop moves. Like
The flares.
I know. Why do they do
fired
that?
it at a little desk
He's
pop. Let the gun rip.
That's exactly what they do.
He had the two. Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Just tased me on the way out through the window.
30. You're going 33 and a 25.
Oh, I scoffed at
So?
him.
I mean,
that's what I said. I was
what's
like,
the issue?
I was like, is that bad? Like, should I go faster?
Am I speeding?
There's people behind me.
That's usually
I'm trying to get them for tailgating.
Get him for tailgating. I was like, sir, you are parked on the wrong side of the road. And he was like, enough. I was like, all right, this is going great.
You're saying too much.
Yeah.
I don't like you speaking.
But then, well,
I'm fighting this.
Yeah, I'm going to go to court twice.
Right. I'll see you in court, buddy.
Oh, and when we walked in the first time, he was so upset that it starts at 9, right? So we get there at 8:30. Like I said, I followed him into the courtroom. I had no idea where it was. And the first thing he does, it doesn't open until 9, like I said. And he goes and just racks the doors, and they're locked. And I was like, oh, I got to get this extension.
Right.
He was pissed that it wasn't open.
Open the door!
I'm going to get out of here, this fucking punk. I was like, and I just slinked on out.
See, we can't put this juice head on the stand.
Yeah. What? Oh, I definitely could have go to.
What'd you say? That it's locked? Maybe?
Maybe, sir.
Right. Sorry, man, but I think it's locked.
That's enough out of you. You want another one?
Right. Put your hands against the wall and spread them, kid.
Disobedience. It's 2 lashes. Had he been there, I definitely could have goaded him into probably taking a swing.
Is this city court?
Yes. Yeah.
Oof.
Traffic court.
Oof.
Where was it?
It was a cast of characters.
It's a reality show.
Is it downtown?
It is.
Yes.
Yes, it's
Okay,
down.
the
It
courthouse
is.
downtown.
100% a
Yeah, I
cast of
bet that is.
It
Wow.
is a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like,
We should have gone.
the amount
Done our
of
show
wasted
outside of it.
time
Oh my God.
that they can pull off
Oh, absolutely.
in that building is one of the more impressive things that you've ever seen.
Like
I mean,
this. What a
they're-
waste of time.
they're getting
for you
paid
to go
to do,
there
like,
for that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I did.
Nothing.
Like,
Nothing. They're off at 4 o'clock.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Whether your situation is resolved or I'm in the middle of a sentence.
you have to come back
When
tomorrow.
4 o'clock hits, my car is on 2 wheels out of this parking lot.
The judge is like, all right,
I
see y'all.
mean, like,
I'll talk to y'all later.
and then the suspect was coming down the street. That's 4 o'clock. We'll pick this up tomorrow.
Double murder.
You're like, what?
Court is adjourned.
Yeah.
So
Recess.
you're going to spend the night in jail.
It was in the middle of my defense.
Hopefully we can get to you after lunch tomorrow.
We showed up at 8:30 like a bunch of us did, and obviously it opens at 9. And when I tell you the people that serve you like the summons to go to court showed up at 9:01,
Yeah.
and they like saw the line, they're like, oh fuck, like they scurried into the back and then didn't open the door for like 15 minutes.
Sleep in their eyes.
They're like, oh man, a bunch of people here. It's like this every day. Like
This is the same thing
This
every
is what
day.
happens all
Every
the
day.
time.
Every day.
It was
That's
unbelievable
wild.
that they were like, oh shit, people are here. It's like, yep.
And then they don't have court on, what, Fridays, I think?
Oh, I
So
bet
it's like
not.
you get the
Monday
you
through
get till
Thursday, 9 to 4.
How much were you gonna have to pay?
I don't
if you had
even
to
know.
Pay? You don't even know what the fine was?
It was 3 separate charges, so
3 separate charges?
I wasn't registered.
You're a felon.
No, Lloyd.
I didn't have an inspection sticker. I thought you didn't have to have one in Louisiana anymore.
Lloyd.
Remember, that was in the news.
Maybe
No,
not such
it
a good
was not.
husband.
Well, this is why. This is
Let me retract it.
Uh-uh.
Let me
This is why
Because I don't like to do car
This
stuff
is why I
for
need a good
myself,
wife.
so we're
yeah,
out.
but we would have a conversation about it. You would let me know that we both need to be registered. Be like, all right, I'll take care of it.
I don't know. I need you to deal with my
Yeah,
car
right,
issues.
Yeah, we'll just Uber everywhere.
I went to get an
And get-
inspection sticker
get
on Sophie's
blasted.
car, and it's registered in her dad's name. So I pull up to the inspection sticker place, and I was like, "Hey, I need to get an inspection sticker, but like the car's not in my name. This is my kid's car. It's in her dad's
Don't
name." And I'm
even
just
give
going
him all
on
that.
and on, and he was like, "Ma'am,
Yeah,
if you
man.
stole a car and you want to put an inspection
what do you-
sticker on it, that's on you. We don't care." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Get out of the
$18
car." I was like, "Exactly."
you're a
I was
car
like,
thief.
"Oh,
Cash only.
okay."
Pull it to the back.
I was so scared they weren't going to give me one.
Oh man, and I got mine.
Ray, we got a hot Range Rover coming in real quick. If you can't slap an inspection sticker on, I just took it for $100. I'll get 30 to you.
They probably could have been like, how much is it? $180. Like,
Right. Sweet, run my card. We don't take cards here, ma'am.
Cash.
But we do have an ATM right here in the office.
And if you just want to give me the card, I'll run it for
Yeah,
you.
right. You want to write down that PIN number for me?
And we need your social. Driver's license, social.
Oh my gosh.
We'll
Blood
take the
type.
birth certificate too.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's
hey,
the PIN number on your card?
It's an American Express.
what's your account number?
What is
Actually?
it?
I know, right? I'm just rattling it all off. I'm not that big.
I
of
mean,
an
you
idiot.
could just put it on the screen, give it to everybody.
My card number? That's a great idea.
Oh, if you do it for 5 seconds, if you get it, you got it.
Yeah.
And then you just change it. I did get I got a fraudulent charge yesterday.
Ooh,
Because I was trying to get my
massage?
No, I wish. It was like I needed my vehicle history, and it was some website that's like, oh, we'll give you whatever the hell I needed. And I like didn't sign up, but I went to the website, and then I got a charge for $10 last night, and they called me, like the bank did. I don't even know what to do.
So you put your card number in there?
No. Like I put it in, but I didn't click submit because I was like, I'm not
Oh.
paying for this. Like
That's
I'm just
sneaky.
I know. So that's what makes me concerned. So I think my credit card is no longer active.
Yeah, you gotta
at the
cancel it.
moment.
You
What a
gotta
terrible
But they
feeling.
sent me like, did you charge $10 to this website? And I was like, I've never paid for porn. I don't know what this is. And they're like, it's some sort of like DMV type deal. And I was like, no, I never clicked submit.
No chance,
So
not me.
I typed in all caps, no. And then they called me, and it was a whole to do. I just hung up. So
Oh, Lloyd.
we'll get that figured
So
out
somebody's
later.
probably charging your card as we speak.
Yeah, somebody's probably playing on Lloyd's card.
Yeah, and in the same sentence, they're saying, this guy's a broke dick. He can't get anything.
I was about to say, the woman had when I got
I'm
my
trying to put $30 of gas in the car. We just got declined.
I got another award for that.
Brazzers is going to show up all over your statement.
Oh, I mean, it's premium content.
Got to stay off the premium content.
But now you have to like register yourself.
Who's got
to watch
43
porn.
minutes in a day?
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
43 minutes.
like that's how long like the premium videos are. Who's
Yeah.
watch? I mean,
We ain't-
but I don't
we-
need.
we
to,
ain't- we ain't-
I mean, these people are getting married.
Yeah.
They're not actually in love.
But they're like, there's like a story. You need like some
Nah,
people like
Katie,
a
I don't need a
storyline.
story. I just need.
Like, what's the backstory here? How did y'all meet?
I do like the preamble.
You know, how
What's
did
the
y'all
dialogue?
meet?
Yeah, I need a little dialogue. Yeah, butter me up.
If
Did
they're
they know
more
each
than one
other? Did they get
couple-
introduced when they
Yeah.
first met?
Yeah, they're stepbrothers.
Who's swinging with who?
Right.
Like, which
Yeah.
one goes with who? Which ones are actually married?
The step situations is the issue. these
What's the
days.
deal with that? Way too many steps.
It feels lazy,
It
Yeah,
does.
especially for
Yeah,
your
it freaks-
family. It's
freaks
probably
me
freaks
out.
you out.
There's
Yeah,
so many steps out there, right?
You should
Come on, Cooper.
Hi.
You have to check that internet
I mean,
history.
not only that, you're
Step
sitting in like,
everything.
oh,
Step
gosh.
sister, brother,
Dinner
mom,
tables.
dad.
And that's what I'm saying. You have a family full
What's
of
everybody
them.
watching
we're
these
all
days?
step.
Yeah, like Cooper
Right?
probably feels dirty watching step,
I hope Cooper's
I would
not
think so.
watching
I would
step
think so.
porn.
but he can't avoid it. It's everything.
Yeah, it is. It
guess.
is everywhere.
Gary Redus is cleaning up in the transfer portal right now for LSU women's
Watching
basketball.
step porn.
We are going to call him at 8:45 this morning. We're going to find out what's going on. We should find out what's going on with Haley Van Lith here over the next couple of, I would say, hours.
Yeah,
I would
right?
think.
It's time.
I mean, by tomorrow, it feels a little late.
Oh God! Somebody said fake taxi is still the shit.
Oh, nice.
What's
Wonder
fake
Fournette.
taxi?
Oh, there's
yeah.
Look it up, Katie.
Yeah.
We'll find
It's
out.
a porn site.
Oh, yeah.
It's a taxi driver.
Yeah.
There's one way to pay for the ride. There's another way to pay for
Right.
multiple rides.
There is no
Alright.
job.
Step in this back seat real quick.
Step in the back
I'm
seat.
gonna pull over real quick in this
There's a lot of
little
Chechen
alley.
women.
Chechnya.
It is.
Is it really?
I mean, most of the time it's.
Like the Boston Bombers?
Yeah. There's your parody.
I'm telling
You
you.
could write it. I mean,
Wow.
you have this thing ingrained in your brain.
You really do.
Taxi drivers?
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
They need to
either.
do one like
either.
a premium, like Uber,
like
you
or
know,
like Lyft.
yeah, like
There's,
a
I'm
VIP.
sure there's Uber porn out there.
Oh,
Has to be.
We'll see.
You'll see.
We'll find out.
It has to be.
Find out right
Rideshare
now.
porn, yeah.
Oh, that would be a great idea.
Let's go a little NDI, Lloyd.
When you do a like a ride share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, rideshare porn.
I mean, that just harkens back to the days of old HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was it?
Real sex?
No, the Taxi Cab Confessions.
Taxi Cab Confessions.
Because they would hook up in the back
Was that
seat.
HBO?
That's right. It was,
HBO.
yeah.
Golly.
Does that still come on?
I hope so. I mean, that's unlimited content.
What about real
I mean, it
sex?
was really
It
kind of
so
ahead of its
weird.
time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
it was
it
really
was.
kind of reality television even before reality television.
That's true.
Did they know that they were being filmed?
Absolutely. They had to sign a waiver.
Yeah, I would imagine. Otherwise, it's voyeurism.
Right.
Which is
Well, I mean,
illegal.
it would be illegal. Right.
Yeah.
But did they know before or did they know after?
I think that they did. If I remember, they would show them telling them.
Okay.
Like
This-
you're on, and then like kind of like you'd have to sign the waiver.
And everybody's
there was
hammered.
probably so many people
Yeah.
that were like, "I'm not doing this."
Yeah.
You know, like
And the people that were the people
man,
you
you're dropping
want.
me off in a place I'm not
Right.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is not my wife.
I know.
This is not my wife's house. What do you mean? There's a camera in here?
What did I
It's
sign?
1990, bro. What do you
I'm trying to watch Seinfeld.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's not the cash cab. He follows me on Twitter.
That's
Ben
right.
Bailey.
Really?
I have no idea why.
Dude, you got to jump in his DM, see if we can get him on.
Get him on the cash
cool,
cab.
yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. I
Is
haven't
that
seen
still a show too?
That's what I'm wondering.
Is that the guy that you just like pay and he talks to you while he drives you around?
No, he pays you to answer
Mhm.
questions.
Yeah, it's like
You get-
trivia.
It's a great
you get-
show.
Great
Oh,
idea.
It's a great idea.
And you could do the shout out through the window if you needed like phone a friend.
Right.
But you would have to ask strangers on the street like this trivia question.
What a gamble.
And they'd be
That's
like,
fun, I
"You
know.
dumb fuck! How do you not know this?" Like, I don't know, man.
So can you help or not?
No, I'm not even telling you.
How many can you get wrong?
Yeah, 3. You got 3 strikes, and then if you lose, you have to get out the cab.
Shit.
Wherever you,
Wow.
yeah, wherever
That
you
kinda
end
sucks.
up on your like 3rd strike, he's like, all right, this is where I'm dropping
So
you
what
off,
if
which
you-
is totally dangerous
I was gonna say,
in the climate of 2023.
just imagine doing that in like New Orleans.
Yeah, well, that's what happened to
You can't do
Jordy.
it.
God.
End up on the east.
Can't do it.
I want to go to the 7th ward.
Yeah, right. End up in Algiers.
Yeah. Where are we at? Algiers.
Yeah, right.
Get out.
You seen that new documentary, Algiers, America?
You finally get
You're
your-
in it.
You finally get your taxi out, and you just get 3 wrong in a row. Like, get out. Like, oh man, I'm in a terrible spot.
I mean, it's a hell of a punishment.
Oh yeah, you're taking a risk.
Wait,
mean,
Hunter
but-
says you should pitch the ride sharing porn idea to your guy, your cash cab guy.
Oh, God.
Maybe he could get it
Hunter,
going.
what do you,
Maybe so.
What are you into,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Hey, Lloyd, take the bullet for all of us and see if it works, huh?
Why don't you shoot him a DM? Hey, Ben, you ever thought about porn? You got the lights, you got the whole setup, disco ball.
You can ease into it.
What if? Yeah, or do you have to ask if they get the questions wrong? You lose a shirt. You know,
Right.
You can do like a
Strip cash
a
cab.
little strip cash cab. This is not a bad idea.
that's not
It's not a bad idea, really.
All right, we're on to something. You have to do it in Vegas though.
Yeah, you'd have to do
Yeah,
it
no
somewhere
doubt.
where.
Isn't that where they were doing Taxi Cab Confessions? Wasn't it in Vegas?
Oh yeah,
New York?
I think it was New York.
Yeah, I
and
thought it
like,
was New York.
well, in Vegas was the Bunny Ranch.
Uh-huh.
With that, is he still alive?
No way.
Because he was.
He was living it.
Oh, his heart.
I mean, just...
It's too big.
I mean, it was a cigarette boat.
Oh,
I
God.
mean, his heart was just full throttle, dude. I mean, I was like, this
Wasn't he
guy.
married to one of them?
I think he was married to a couple of them.
Oh yeah, he
Okay.
had an. They're very polygamous
Wait,
over
what is this
there.
called?
Yeah.
I want to say that, like, that
was
was
the
who
Bunny Ranch?
Lamar Odom. Like,
Yeah, he had a heart
I
attack
think
there.
that was his
That's
last
right.
weekend.
Yeah, he
I
blew
think
it
was,
out.
Like, one of his last weekends. I
That's
think he,
right.
like,
Candy and cocaine.
partied with Lamar Odom, and, like, a week later, he was, like, dead.
Lamar died there, and then
Yeah.
they brought him
Yeah.
back to life.
Dennis Hoff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dennis, he's dead.
What year?
Died October 16th, 2018.
Oh, he didn't get to
That's
see
big.
the
He made it
natty.
longer than I thought he did.
When Lamar go there?
I mean,
because I think they do go hand in hand.
Do you
Lamar.
know about this place, Stewie?
No, I do
it's,
not.
It's in Vegas or outside of Vegas, I guess.
It's outside of Vegas.
It's like
you
it's
go
a
and
papal
then
state.
you pick from a lineup of right. Is that
It's
the
just,
lineup
I mean, it's
one?
just it's a legitimate whorehouse.
Yeah,
Oh, so it's like
and then
Howard
you go have
Kumar.
drinks with them in their bar.
It's a
that's
legal
in there.
brothel.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a legal.
But you pick the one you want, right? They
Oh,
line
yeah,
up,
absolutely.
and then you pick.
Lamar's
Did they
one or
have
two.
They don't have a say, right? They signed up for whomever.
Lamar's
it was.
Yeah.
last time there was 2015.
Okay.
If it's your
That's
time
when
to
he
come out in the
collapsed.
lineup, then like you're in. If you get picked, you're in.
Right.
You can't back out.
Mm.
But there are all these rules, right? Don't they have a lot of rules?
Phil
You
just-
have to, like,
I mean, I'm sure.
you have to like go
I'm
to
sure
like
it's
the business lady in her office.
Oh, yeah.
and,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
sign
You
your
got to
stuff.
run a credit card before you go in the back.
Yeah.
She had all like the receipt papers. She was
Yes.
just running cards. Like, yep.
Just a businessman's nightmare.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you do with those receipts? Oh, well, we keep them.
Why are they wet?
Okay. I got a couple of pipe bombs in the car I might throw over here.
Let me talk to Dennis. He's busy.
He's back there with Lamar.
Cracking candy.
It says he filled his nostrils with cocaine and gorged on sexual enhancement pills before being rushed to the hospital.
Lamar?
Yes.
What a weekend, dude.
Sexual
Who hasn't?
enhancement pills.
What a weekend.
Give me some of that Viagra.
What a weekend.
I mean, his heart. If you're doing cocaine and Viagra, I mean, good lord.
I mean, like drinking Red Bull.
I'm fully engorged.
Hey, Dennis, I think I need to go to the hospital.
Oh, he was so
Just
creepy.
bleeding from his ears and nose.
My chest hurts.
Are you supposed to
Super.
see your heart beating through your chest?
I feel like I'm in the mask.
I mean, like just boom, boom.
Ooga,
Just like-
ooga.
I don't know if this is supposed to happen, Dennis.
I don't feel right.
I don't feel so good.
All right, we'll be back. 15 minutes from now, we're going to find out. I think Haley Van Lift, she's got to announce today, right? I mean, I don't think we can ask Redus about this, but
Nope.
we're going to try to dance around the topic. Come back with us. Jordy Culotta Show presented by Katie's Restaurant. Katie's down in New Orleans. Remember, Katie's a neighborhood restaurant for the entire city, which is located down on Iberville Street, 3701 Iberville Street, right in the heart of Mid-City. Got a menu for everyone, man, featuring St. Louis, NOLA-style deli menu options. Katie's has been featured all over the Food Network, Travel Channel, and most popularly on diners and drive-ins and dives. Katie's is, as we said, located 3701 Iberville Street. Go check them out. They got a sister restaurant, Francesca's by Katie's, which is located in Lakeview. Online at katiesinmidcity.com, katiesinmidcity.com. We're back with more of the show after this, built by R&B Builders.
People love.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculotta.show.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Fourier Insurance Agency, established in 1946, locally can help you with any of your home, auto, commercial,
Contractors Life and Health Insurance today. Give them a call, 225-383-0682, or log online to 48agency.com.
Hey, she's on her way up.
Hey, G, I got you something.
Hey, Coach. What do you think? Is this too much?
If you look good, you play good.
All right, then. Let's get it done.
Do you need your roof checked or just ready to get a new roof? Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal has helped over 10,000 customers with their roofs over the last 2 decades. Premier South employs over 300 team members in South Louisiana. They're accredited by the Better Business Bureau. They've been named in the top 100 roofers in the nation for a number of years. And Premier South has former insurance adjusters in-house whose job it is to help get all the insurance money you deserve. So go to PremierSouthLA.com for Premier South Roofing and Sheet Metal and get your free inspection.
Premier South Roofing.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done. Corrects done. Personal injury done. Workers' comp done. Truck wrecks done. Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done.
In 1975, Mike Anderson left the gridiron for the grill, opening a po' boy shop near LSU. If you're from Louisiana, odds are you've tasted a dish, experienced the tradition of Mike Anderson's seafood. 48 years later, the tradition of Mike Anderson's lives on with the next generation.
I'm very thankful. He's never allowed okay to be okay. It's a driving force for me to just want to keep it as good as he made it.
Mike Anderson Seafood and WAFB, celebrating the community. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, powered and built by R&B Builders. Remember our friend Rhett Bourgeois and the crew over there. If you're looking for new construction, look out for them in the Parade of Homes coming up at the end of the month. Follow them on social media. R&B Builders, they're all over Instagram. Great social media.
They're all over my house.
How's it going?
It's good.
Yeah? Is that what the attitude's about this
Still
morning?
good. No.
it's all about the driving. I'm telling you,
All
she's about to be an
my
empty
child
nester,
being a driver.
and it's Henry's
I took a
birthday.
picture of
He's
her.
Kind of
getting
explains
older.
a lot.
What do you mean?
Over the last couple of days.
It's been weighing heavy on her
I can
mind.
tell she's been stressed.
I feel like if I am not like this all the time,
That's not true.
That's not true.
then everybody in here is like, "What's wrong?
No,
What happened?
no.
Something's
Like
wrong
this.
with you. You're off. You're being a
That's
bitch.
not true.
That's
Are you
not
on
what
your
we-
period?
We don't say that to
We
your
just wear-
face. I
we
just
just
say
wear-
that.
We
He
just
does
wear it
say
on your
that.
sleeve.
You're
How
outing
much
yourself.
longer?
I'm usually right.
When did you start?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
outing
usually
yourself right
usually
now,
spot
Katie.
on.
Third week of the month.
No pun
Everybody knows
intended.
it.
Oh God, we're
Whoa,
coming
here
out.
she comes.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
turn around and go this way.
Boy, does it on
I'm
his
going to take the
calendar.
long route to the conference room.
Why do you keep barking like an asshole? So roomier.
All right, so I've got so Redus is in a coaches meeting up there with LSU basketball. I've texted him and asked him if tomorrow might be better. He's not answered me yet. So right now, as of now, he's supposed to join us at a little closer to 9 a.m. But I can tell you that we're going to learn about this Haley Van Lith situation.
Maybe that's what he's busy with.
Hopefully. No, I think that deal to me has been done. I think they're on to kind of, not bigger fish, because I don't know if there is a bigger fish than Haley Van Lith this offseason of adding her to the national champs. But I do know that it is a crazy time to be on the coaching staff for the LSU women's basketball team, just with the amount of attention that they are receiving, the amount of interest that there is amongst current players, right? I mean, Stewie, was it you, Stewie, that told me this weekend with Angel Reese and Joe Burrow on the sideline that it wasn't even close, that Angel Reese was more of the attraction to the fans than even Burrow was? I mean, this is just 4 years removed from one of the greatest college football seasons, if not the greatest of all time. And Angel Reese is coming off of a 10-month, just kind of since she's been introduced here in Baton Rouge, and to see how popular she is and has become, and really kind of the weight she carries now on social media and within social circles, and obviously within her peer group. There are people that are very interested in playing with Angel Reese, for Kim Mulkey, alongside this LSU team and in this program, where they've got issues and problems that exist now, where you're talking internally. How do you want to handle this? Do you want to take all of these transfers that want in? Because if you do, your roster is going to look completely different than what it is, really kind of built to become, right? Where you've got a mixture of young and old, and you still have some open spots, but you have the opportunity, if you're at LSU, where you can go out and you can handpick your roster every year, because you've got inquiries in your inbox, in your DMs, or Angel Reese is coming up to the coaching staff and saying, yo, guess who called me and guess who wants to come to LSU? Because that's how this all works, right? They can't talk to them until they go into the portal. Okay. All right, well,
why do they commit the same
somehow
day?
They're making contact with them, whether it's through a current player, a relative. They found the loophole, and they're getting into contact with these players. Football, basketball, baseball, women's basketball, all of these sports. It has turned into nothing but a recruiting ground, right? And so whether the player is reaching out to Angel Reese or whether Angel Reese is reaching out to a selected player, the fact of the matter is that LSU could potentially put together a dream team if they wanted to coming up here in 2024, where you could take some of the most popular, best, accomplished players in the sport and put them together and put them on a squad that's coached by Kim Mulkey. I mean, is
it a dangerous game?
It could be, because, I mean, ask Calipari.
Right.
That's the game that Calipari tried to play early on. He thought he could rebuild his roster every year, and he was just going to go get one and dones. Whether it's one and dones or transfers, it's the same type of debate. After hearing Mulkey speak about how she wants her roster built, she's a true believer in recruiting, high school recruiting, development of players. Michaela Williams, right? I mean, Michaela Williams might be the best player on this team. Legitimately. A true freshman. I mean, if she's not, she'll be in the discussion. So, I mean, Mulkey's always going to go after the elite. She's always going to go after the best. And I think that there's a combination of transfer portal and high school recruiting that exist that you can build a national championship roster every year, right? I don't know if Mulkey wants to get into the business of managing the top personalities of the sport every year.
No.
Right?
Jeff Bone is on the phone to tell his Bunny Ranch story if you want him.
Hell yeah.
Jeffrey, good morning. How are you?
All right, what's going on, George?
I'm doing okay, man. So
You
take
tell
me back,
us.
Jeff. Where were you? How old were you? What happened?
Okay. 2001, I was in the Army. I was 26, I believe.
Okay.
We were out in at the National Training Center in the Mojave Desert.
Oh, you were
doing
itching.
big, desert warfare crap for this whole summer, and we had some downtime. And so a bunch of us went to Vegas first. I went and met some friends from New Orleans, and then got a wild hair up our butt and went to out to the bunny ranch.
More than that. You got more than that, Jeffrey.
What?
Got more than wild hair.
Keep going. Keep
Well,
going.
Rate the experience. Talk us
Well,
like
I
when
had
you
a
walked through
couple
the front
friends that
door.
dropped some serious coin at casinos.
All right,
and I was
so
like,
take
I'm
me-
not doing that.
So take me
So
through
we
the whole
went-
experience. Like what? Like the first time you see the place, what? It's like in the middle of the desert, right?
It's all prefab trailers.
Oh. It's
Of
like
course
Grace,
it is.
It's like Grace Christian.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
And hey, Lloyd, it kind of reminds me of Sugar and Spice. in Alexandria.
Oh, hell yes. I think it is now defunct, but Sugar and Spice, they would put out.
or as we call it, Booger and Lice.
They didn't even put out tables. They put out beer pong tables out there. It was the best. And you get a breakfast.
All right, so keep going.
All right, so you go up to the door. They got to buzz you in. You walk in, and they greet you, and they got all the girls, and you can either pick a girl, go and negotiate, do what you got to do.
Wait, do
or you
they
can go
know
to the
you're
bar.
coming ahead of time and the girls are just like ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, as soon as they
hear the buzzer.
buzz, that thing.
Yeah, they're like
Okay.
firefighters.
Girls come
Okay.
running.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that's the cattle call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah.
air horn.
Get ready.
Yeah, right.
Wait, did you meet Dennis the legend?
Did I meet who?
Dennis, the owner.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
So we go, and I I sat at the bar and had a couple of drinks, talked to a couple of girls, and they trying to work you and everything. So I go with this little
war story.
Blonde, California cutie type.
Was that her name?
And you go they take you in the back and you negotiate. They give you a menu of services. Oh yeah. It's
Is it front and back?
It's kind of like show Bar Rescue when the guy goes and they got bars with menus now. I'm like, so I forget what I.
No, you don't.
Yeah, right. I mean, I had a good buzz. Did my thing, went back out and started drinking some more, and it was like 5 or 6 of us, and we start talking to different people. Well, Dennis Hoff goes, we all got our military haircut, high and tights and everything, and he goes, oh, y'all in the military? Yeah. Next time y'all want. It's on me.
Oh, next time.
Dennis, we're staying tonight.
We probably stayed there for like 16 hours.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And the whole time as long as you're there and you paid, free alcohol.
16 hours though. But like, what does that get you? Like,
the casino.
Do you sleep like at all, or you're just partying for the whole 16 hours?
Hey,
like, how long were you in a room with someone?
That was the highlight of my summer, considering how crappy it was. We were out there training in the desert, not knowing I was going to end up in Iraq 2 years later.
Oh, dude, talk about one for the spank bank.
You want to hear the ironic thing is? I flew home September 10th, 2001.
Oh,
wow.
That's wild.
I was going to ask you that. I mean, this is pre 9/11.
Yeah.
Jeff. Incredible story.
Yeah, buddy.
Incredible last name.
Bone.
You got to go to the Bunny Ranch.
Everybody calls me Jeff Bone, but it's actually Bonnet.
Oh, well, not anymore.
And it's not
Jeff.
French, it's German. That's a whole
okay.
other story.
I'm sticking with Bone. All right. Thanks, man. Have a good day. Whoa.
All right, guys. Thank y'all later.
He's typing into the laptop. What a deep recesses of the memory to have to go to war and be like, at least I had the 16 hours at the Bunny Ranch.
Man,
like, I would think about that just in my bunk, like, oh, that was nice. As long as you stay, it's free booze.
All right, let's call Coach Redus. And we'll be out of here on this Tuesday. We'll be right back, and we'll have Coach Gary Redus with us. Hold tight.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done. Corrects done. Personal injury done. Workers' comp done. Truck wrecks done. Get Gordon and get it done. Get Gordon and get it done.
In 1975, Mike Anderson left the gridiron for the grill, opening a po' boy shop near LSU. If you're from Louisiana, odds are you've tasted a dish, experienced the tradition of Mike Anderson's seafood. 48 years later, the tradition of Mike Anderson's lives on with the next generation.
I'm very thankful. He's never allowed okay to be okay. It's a driving force for me to just want to keep it as good as he made it.
Mike Anderson Seafood and WAFB, celebrating the community. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, getting out on this Tuesday. We appreciate everybody for stopping by and interacting with us. Shout out to Jeffrey Bone for a good story there. No chance.
Bonet.
Also, Billy Embody.
German.
Thank you for him stopping by in the first hour. And always look forward to our conversation with our next guest. And we'll be quick here. I know that he's very busy. We are going to get out of here shortly. But Gary Redus, who is a part of the LSU women's basketball staff, of course, LSU ladies crowned national champs just a couple of weeks ago, and it feels like it has been a incredible ride since then, from victory parades to social media sightings to everybody, it feels like, wanting to be a part of what LSU has going on. Coach Redus and the crew have been fun to keep up with. If you're not following him on Twitter, I suggest you do. At @iGreedus is the Twitter handle, and it is fantastic. Coach, good morning. How are you? Coach, we got you?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you, man. Loud and clear. Good to talk to you this morning. How are you?
Good to talk with you. I'm good. I just finished my morning drop-offs of the kids.
Nice.
I'm back in full-time parent mode. My wife gives me a break during the season, but the day after the season ended, she was like, all right, here the kids are. Here the kids go. So,
and look,
here you go.
I'm sure you crushed that assignment just like you crushed your assignment on with LSU Women Hoops. But I'm not believing that you're giving it up full time as far as recruiting goes, because if anybody's paying attention to social media, man, it is obvious that the women's basketball brand at LSU might be the hottest brand in sports right now. What is it like to be a part of what you guys have going on right now?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I think that's always the goal. That's always been my goal, is just to try and help grow women's basketball. So when you see it really start to grow and really start to grow organically, like I don't think that there's any fluff with what we do, like in regards to definitely Coach Mulkey and our girls and just all of us. Like, I think that it's just been something really fun that, people are starting to get behind, and, it's exciting.
Take me through the last couple of weeks of the season, Coach, specifically the run to the Final Four, and then ultimately winning the national championship on that Sunday afternoon in front of 9.9 million viewers from around the country and a packed house there in Dallas. What was the run like here for the ladies?
Oh man, we went from not knowing if we would make it out of the second round, and I think all of us were kind of sick of each other. And then we played the game against Michigan, and the girls just came out and they played so hard and they played so tough. Then we went to Greenville, and when we went to Greenville, our girls were just so confident. We went into the Utah game. We got a little scared there, but I think after we won that game, I think our girls were really locked in at really just taking it as far as we could. We didn't feel any pressure. We didn't feel any pressure because I don't think the way we felt, we just felt like a lot of people didn't give us respect and they didn't expect us to do anything anyway. So let's just go out here and play and have fun. And, the Miami game was really ugly, as Coach Mulkey said a lot of times. But it just, man, when we made it to the Final Four, I think that was enough for us, honestly. But we got into the Virginia Tech game, and Alexis Morris, man, she just, man, her and LaDasia, to come out and play like seniors in the Final Four the way that they did and in the entire tournament run, what they did in the Virginia Tech game was amazing. It was amazing to sit over there as a coach and watch how they were interacting with each other on the bench and throughout the game and in the locker room. They would not take no for an answer. I thought that they would be cool with just making it to a Final Four, but once we got to the Final Four, they did not want to lose. They really, really wanted to win it, and they really wanted to win it for each other. So to come back on Virginia Tech in the fourth quarter the way we did, and then just the amazing the Iowa game, my mother-in-law has watched it, and my mom and everyone calls me every time they call. They're like, "Oh yeah, I just got finished watching the championship game again." And I'm like,
"Did we win?"
This is crazy. Right. I can't get through the game. I can't watch the game. I can't watch it again. I get warm and fuzzy inside every time I watch it.
I bet. It was incredible, Coach. It was an incredible ride for everybody to take with y'all, and to be on it was awesome to see. I know that it has created this buzz and this feeling around the program where it almost, from an outsider looking in, that everybody wants to be a part of it. I know that you can't name names, but it feels like all of the popular names in women's college basketball want to be a part of what's happening right now. You're at the center of that, you and the rest of the coaching staff, and of course Coach Mulkey, but you're kind of the one that's the most recognizable out on social media. What's it like to be in that position where it feels like everybody's hitting y'all up?
Yeah, it's better than the alternative.
You're right.
They should want to come to LSU. I think especially right now, and I think that's what we tell these players. I mean, we're just getting started. So we're not in a situation to where we've been building this roster for years and years and years. We aren't a finished product by any means. So you should want to come to LSU because you can come to LSU right away and make an impact. You can make an impact. These kids that we're recruiting, we're recruiting these kids to come in and play, whether it be high school or transfer portal. We aren't really recruiting people to come in and sit on the bench. Because, we just lost Lex and LaDasia and Jazz. And, we have some older kids on our roster that, we're going to have to replace. And, we want to replace what we feel like are some of the best players in the nation right now. With Angel, I feel being the best player in the country.
Yeah.
We want to replace them and put players beside them that, are the best players in the country. So, if I was a recruit right now, I would want to come play at LSU. Kind of what LSU is doing for kids' brands, and you can come play for Kim Mulkey. You can come and win, and you can come and go to the WNBA. I think it's a win across the board. I don't think that you've seen players. I think you've seen coaches be able to go out and do some stuff and get really famous, but when it comes to players, you haven't seen players, and especially not multiple players, go out and be able to create brands where they can be called by their nicknames and you'll know exactly who they are. That doesn't happen much in women's basketball. And I think that our girls and our team are kind of the trailblazers for that. So I think that, other young ladies out here, they notice that.
Yeah.
They notice that, and they notice, what it can do, on and off the court. And I think they want to be a part of that. And, kind of what I say to them and what we all say to them, you should want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
It's a difference between going somewhere and playing basketball and, having success on the basketball court and that being great. And then you go to the WNBA and you're kind of lost in, whatever, then coming here and doing something a little bit bigger than that. And that's what I think we're doing. And that's the fun part to me, is that we're doing exactly what we set out to do when we kind of start putting these characters, and I say characters in a great way,
sure,
but they are characters. We put them together and it's all just kind of blown up. And I think that Kim Mulkey is just at the head of all of it. Like she's like a mad scientist, and she said that we aren't slowing down. And when she said we aren't slowing down, it was okay. Let's speed up then. So here we are.
Watching Michaela Williams play against her peers was pretty humbling. I mean, to see how good she is. What is the expectation for her on the defending national champs coming in as a true freshman?
To come in and beat Michaela Williams. We expect a lot out of Michaela. She expects a lot out of herself. Funny thing is, I had a conversation with Michaela weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And I told her, I said, don't be spooked if we go get some players out of the transfer portal. I was like, don't get scared.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, scared of what? She was like, I'm ready to come in and play. She was like, I don't care who's on the team. She was like, I expected y'all to do that. She was like, Coach Mulkey told me the first conversation that she was going to put good players around me. She was like, I want to win. And we're expecting her to come in and help us win. Nothing more, nothing less. Like whatever happens, whatever she comes in and does, great. But I think everyone knows the type of player she is and how just gifted she is and how hard she works on her craft. And, to have players here who we know are going to work really hard, I think that's like the exciting part, right? I know that no matter who we bring in and no matter how hard they work, Michaela isn't going to let anybody outwork her. So, that should turn into something really fun.
Yeah, yes, it will. Angels brand, Coach, you mentioned it. I would imagine there for about a 2-3 week period, she was the most popular athlete on the planet that you could argue, just from social media and the impact and the impressions that the women's basketball program was receiving. How is she as a player even dealing with all of this popularity?
She loves it. Angel has the personality for this. Angel has been wanting to be famous as we joke around, but she really is famous now. It's funny because she'll, even like a couple of days ago, we were out recruiting and she texted me and was like, all right, tour over. Time to get back in the gym. I need to get back in the gym Monday at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So I think that's the beauty of it to me, that she can go out and she can be everywhere and be talked about by everyone, but still understand what got her to this point, and that's putting in the hard work. Like she worked as hard as any kid that I've ever seen last summer, because she wanted to come in and she wanted to be really good. And, I think that she understands that she can't be the person and the brand that she wants to be if she doesn't produce and we don't win. So she's attacking it just like that, this spring and this summer, and we're about to get in the gym here shortly. And, we expect to keep doing that. But that's why she's Angel Reese, the Bayou Barbie, right? Like that's why she's that. So, it's fun, but she knows it's time to work.
Work hard, play hard.
I don't want to put you on the spot. But last one. Should LSU fans expect any news over the next couple of hours or day or two?
Wow. Look at you. All I'll say is we expect to have a really fun next couple of weeks.
Yes,
I think, everybody kind of saw social media last week and they saw who was here and fans have been giving me a very hard time. Guys, I promise y'all, I'm not teasing y'all. I'm not. Like, look, we told y'all what we would do. We wouldn't lie to y'all. So, let's get ready to have a fun off season. I don't know what that'll look like, but it'll be a fun off season. We feel like we do a good job when kids kind of come in and they want to see campus and they want to learn more about LSU and LSU does a great job of just being LSU. Like, I think kids love it when they come here and visit because people are so friendly and the food is so good and the weather is so nice and LSU is LSUing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, kids want to be a part of that. So we'll see if a couple kids want to be a part of that in the next, couple days, couple weeks, couple hours maybe.
Yes, there it is. Gary Redus, everybody stop reminding him to do his job on social media. The man is working, for God's sakes. Keep it up, man. Keep up the hard work. The run to the national championship was magical, and to think about what is next it's cool to think what's coming up for the program. Thank you for the access. Thank you for the information this morning. We'll talk again soon.
Gotcha. Appreciate you always, Jordy. Go Tigers.
There he is, man. Coach Redus checking in. They got good stuff going on over there right now. It's a good time to be a part of that program, and as he said, I think very politically correct that we should expect some good news over the next couple of days and off season. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Have a great Tuesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.